again, dear viewers. You're watching ERi-TV. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. Messages of congratulations in connection with the 32nd Independence Day anniversary continue. Commemoration of 60th anniversary of founding of African Union. Protesters in Italy demand higher wages and halt to weapons shipment to Ukraine. Spain teachers, healthcare workers protest low wages. In our domestic news, the leaders of the Federal Republic of Somalia, United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Syria, Hungary, Malta, and the United Nations sent messages of congratulations in connection with the 32nd Independence Day anniversary. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud of the Republic of Somalia, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the United Arab Emirates, King Abdullah II of Jordan, President Bashar al-Assad of Syria, President Katalin Novak of Hungary, President George Vella of Malta, as well as Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, wished good health to President Isaias Afwerki and peace and prosperity to the Eritrean people. In their messages, the leaders expressed their country's readiness to develop bilateral relations with Eritrea. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud of the Republic of Somalia indicated the significance that Eritrea has made over the years since independence to build a strong and prosperous nation, and expressed readiness to work together to promote peace, stability, and prosperity in the region. President Bashar al-Assad of Syria, on his part, expressed his country's interest and keenness to develop the friendly relations with Eritrea and create opportunities for fruitful and constructive cooperation that achieves the common interest of the two countries and brings benefit and good to the two peoples. Likewise, Mr. Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and ruler of Dubai, as well as of Mr. Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, Mr. Demek Mekonnen, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Dr. Riyad Al Malki, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Palestine, sent similar messages of congratulations. Commemoration event of the 60th anniversary of the founding of the African Union was organized on 26 May at Asmara Palace Hotel in the presence of ministers, senior government and PFDJ officials, as well as members of the diplomatic corps. In his keynote speech at the occasion, Mr. Osman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs, said that the commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the founding of the African Union makes it special, for it is being celebrated 2 days after the colorful celebration of the 32nd Independence Day anniversary of Eritrea. Minister Osman went on to say that while our diversity should have been our strength, the scramble for Africa at the beginning of the 1884 was used to divide and conquer Africa by drawing up artificial boundaries along the lines of tribes and ethnicity. Minister Osman stressed that the greatest harm Africans suffered under colonialism were not the slave trade or subsequent humiliation, but the disruption of their social values, the disturbance of their tradition, and demolition of their village government. Said that the internal conflicts, tribal wars, border wars, corruption, and mismanagement that have almost ruined Africa have their roots in the blunders committed by colonialism and the New World Order that prevailed at the end of the Second World War, noting that presently the old power order is shifting right in front of our eyes. Minister Osman said that our role as Africans should not be to sit back and hope the next prevailing world order will be in our favor, but we should be active participants in the change that is happening around us. In his concluding remark, Minister Osman said that our motto should be African vision for unity through prosperity, peace and modernity for a better Africa and a better world. The event was highlighted by cultural and artistic programs. An Eritrean delegation led by Mr. Samson Berhane, Director General of International Cooperation at the Ministry of Finance and National Development, participated at the annual meeting of the African Development Bank, conducted in Sharm el-Sheikh from 22 to 26 May. At a sideline meeting with Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President of the bank, Mr. Samson explained on the ongoing cooperation between Eritrea and the bank in the sectors of education, agriculture and energy. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina expressed his desire to visit Eritrea and meet and discuss with President Isaias Afwerki. Dr. Akinwumi appreciated the support Eritrea is making as a member of the bank and expressed his admiration and inspiration on the discussion he made with President Isaias during his visit to Eritrea. Dr. Akinwumi also expressed readiness of the bank to allocate budget for programs in the sectors of agriculture, water conservation and environmental protection, as well as energy. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned now for the international news right after the short break. Hundreds of protesters in Italy have waged rallies to demand higher wages as well as a halt to shipment of weapons to Ukraine. While calling for peace in the Ukraine conflict, the Italian protesters on Friday further demanded from the ruling right-wing government in Rome a wage increase of €300 per month, as well as a minimum wage of at least €10 per hour. TV and social media footage of the rally showed protesters marching with flags and banners, disrupting local transportation as well as schools, according to local media outlets. The protesters are blaming the government for its warmongering policies for the country's economic problems, high inflation and persisting low wages. Italian protesters waged similar protest rallies last year, demanding a halt to Rome's weapons shipment to Ukraine. Thousands of Italians also took part in demonstrations across the country on the first anniversary of the war in Ukraine, slamming Western sanctions against Russia and Italy's persisting military aid to Kiev. A NATO member, Italy has been providing weapons to Kiev since the conflict began in February of 2022. Meanwhile, consumer prices in Italy climbed by a whopping 8.1% in 2022, hitting a 37-year high due to soaring energy and food costs linked primarily to the Ukraine war. Meanwhile, in Spain, hundreds of teachers and healthcare professionals also joined forces on Friday with two rallies in front of the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education in capital Madrid, demanding a 35-hour working week and better working conditions. Nearly 78,000 professionals of the Madrid Health Service and 54,000 teachers were called to strike, asking, among other things, to bring back the 35 work hours week, which was changed over a decade ago. According to local press reports, the strike was organized 2 days prior to the countrywide municipal and regional elections on May of 28. Tens of thousands of Spanish health workers had rallied earlier this year in the country's capital, Madrid, decrying what they called the regional government's destructive public health care policies. And the protesters warned that the government's plans would destroy local health care. Ukraine war has caused a rise in energy and food prices, leading to inflation and a high cost of living across Europe, which has resulted in protests and strikes in different European cities. Please stay tuned now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Messages of congratulations in connection with the 32nd Independence Day anniversary continue. Commemoration of 60th anniversary of founding of African Union conducted at the Smara Palace Hotel. Protesters in Italy demand higher wages and half to weapons shipment in Ukraine. Spain teachers, healthcare workers protest low wages. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.